Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from Consensus by CoinDesk in Austin, Texas. And joining me for this segment, we have Ceesay. He is the co-founder and CEO of Calaxy, a social marketplace built for creators by creators. We're going to discuss how social networks and the creator economy will evolve. Solo, it is great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Absolutely, thank you for having me.
This is my favorite topic to cover within the digital asset space, how this is really about creators, the users, democratizing access to this type of technology. Tell me more about Calaxy.
Yeah, absolutely. So Calaxy is the open social marketplace for and by creators. We're a social token project, which means that we create fungible assets that are personalized cryptocurrencies for creators, and we offer real-world utility through the application layer that we've built, Calaxy app, which allows creators to create their own fungible assets or creator tokens, social tokens, to interact with their fans. So we took that real-world utility that's been validated by Web 2 monetization tools like Cameo, like Patreon, those creator-centric platforms for monetization, and attached that utility to blockchain technology.
So this almost builds a more personalized experience with the creator to their user base. It's another way for them to distribute their thoughts, their ideas, their art. It's almost like social media on steroids, if you will. It's more a personalized experience.
Absolutely. It's about creating community building tools that allow influencers and creators to interact with their fans and build their own economy so that they can be the ones to determine their value and the ways in which they can interact with their fans.
So it was just announced $26 million strategic funding by the HBAR Foundation and Animoca Brands co-led the raise. What will this allow Calaxy to do?
Yeah, so we're always in the business of continuing to build and hire great dev talent, and we want to make sure that we deliver on the user experience that's necessary in order to reach mainstream audiences. And so continuing to refine that user experience, that user journey, because quite honestly in Web3, user experience is quite terrible relative to Web 2.0 products that are out there and that creators are using right now. And so we've continued to refine that experience over time. So that's been point number one, continue to grow the team organically and get some nice earned marketing and brand voice out there so that we can continue to start this education process on what a social token can mean, what Calaxy is as a platform, and how it can be beneficial to creators.
You know, speaking of the creator economy, you have a lot of artists, you have a lot of people who are in sports, and you know their professional careers have limited shelf life. This allows them to take it beyond the field, beyond the concert stage, and have a profession or some way to continue to interact with their fans, because again, especially sports players, your shelf life is limited, which means your income is limited as well, so this is another way for them to branch out beyond the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. I think content creators as a whole, and the entertainment industry as a whole, it kind of functions like the cartel. The ways in which they get paid, they're very last in the waterfall, to use financial technology or terminology. And so I think when you think about the idea of social tokens and the community building tools, it allows them to create those perpetual streams of income and really create those direct to consumer relationships so that they can more adequately and more equitably monetize the influence that they create. And so when you think about content creators, it's not just pro athletes. Yes, they have a limited shelf life, but on top of that, you think about the creator middle class, the influencers that's on TikTok, Instagram, those people that have so large, massive followings but can't, pay their, that make their general means of income from the internet. It allows them to more efficiently and predictably, create additional revenue sources for them.
And think about how we're consuming content, to your point, YouTube, TikTok. I have 3 teenagers. I don't think they've ever turned on the TV. That is where they consume their news, where they consume whatever they do on social and leisure stuff, if you will. You don't need a studio to do that. You don't need an agent to do that. It's not just earmarked for a specific group, as you had said, and all that content is just there. You don't need a studio to create it. These platforms or how we're consuming everything these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that really speaks to the point of why it's necessary to have an application layer or some level of infrastructure in place so that these people can come to this ecosystem and kind of plug and play, right? When you think about the cartel example that we spoke about, there's a lot of upfront costs to creating high fidelity, nice content. And so if you're getting paid a super minority of the value you create, that obviously impacts your margins. But through the use of social tokens and direct to consumer engagement, you're allowing yourself to more adequately capture the value you create, which obviously gives you more money in your pocket, which gives you gives you more efficient ways to reinvest that into your platform and ultimately monetize further.
And to wrap up here, what's your general outlook on Web3 and NFTs? When it will become more ubiquitous, or when are we going to start to use this in more everyday life?
I think it's going to come from these consumer-facing use cases becoming popularized. And so things like Calaxy that take blockchain technology and make it really easy to use and palatable for large, massive audiences are going to be the key in this next adoption cycle. When you think about the bull and bear markets that we've had over the last decade, it's really come, they've been a little bit more fewer and far in between, but then also it came with a lot of diligence and a lot of effort and a lot of understanding that previously wasn't there in the cycle before. And so I think as we enter this next cycle, you'll start to see people continue to pick up more and the volatility should start to subside and you'll see more of these use cases pop up.
That's a great point that you made. So we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Market